I've started the recording, and as you know, the agenda of this meeting is I've collected few questions from you, right, which might not be technical questions, which will be related to your career and all, and you would wish to get an answer. So I have got a lot of questions. I might not be able to reply to all, but I will try to pick whatever I can, right? So for the people who just joined today, you might not have got that form because that form we circulated yesterday, and anywhere you can hear what others are asking. So let me quickly see what questions have come in. Okay. Kirti Varman, right? So Kirti, since questions are a lot, I might, whenever I feel I have to unmute you, I will do. Otherwise, I will try to answer it myself because that way I can cover more questions. So Kirti Varman from 4th Feb batch has a question. I see a lot of posts. I see a lot of posts from you and other big data experts on Snowflake and Databricks. Can you please talk about these two are used and also how much important is it to know them, right? Do companies really expect we know Snowflake and Databricks? I think most of you would have similar kind of query. To answer this, see, the big data world is endless and there are n number of tools and technologies and things will keep coming in. But now my objective in this big data masters program is to cover things which are really, really required or which you cannot skip. Now, with that being said, Databricks and Snowflake is something which I would not say that every company would need. At least Snowflake, I would say few companies are using because it's very, very costly. Now talking about Databricks, Databricks is nothing but 80% Spark. In the end, you end up writing Spark code, and through Databricks, you will be able to create a cluster on a click of a button, and there are a few additional functionality. So the learning curve of Databricks is super low. It's not kind of that you have to invest a lot of time. It would not be that. And just to let you know, Databricks is nothing but a company founded by founders of Apache Spark. Now, they have done some little tuning of Apache Spark so that when we write code, it runs little faster. And moreover, it's easy to set up a cluster, things like that. And there are few additional features like Delta Lake and all. So it's like Spark, learning Spark is the hard part. Learning additional things in Databricks is the easy part. And not every company would be really working on Databricks, just to let you know. Also, having said that, Snowflake, I would say, is again not every company use. It's like a very proprietary product and very, very costly. It's like a in-cloud data warehouse, which is fast, right? So it kind of do the same work, whatever is done in Apache Spark. So I would say my intent behind running the Big Data Masters program is to cover the extremely, extremely important things which you cannot skip, right? And knowing Databricks is something which is good to know. I hope this is clear. And sometimes, I would try to cover a session, might be a live session where I can give some idea about Databricks probably in 1.5 hours or 90 minutes so that you people have a good context around that also. So let me move ahead. This question is from Abhishek Kumar from 4th Feb batch. We see a lot of roles as data engineer in many organizations, but very few roles with big data engineer. Does data engineer roles involve big data and its technology? I understood the question. Now, when you are learning my course, I would say you will be applying for a role of data engineer or big data developer or big data architect or a data architect. All these roles. See, these terms are used interchangeably. Ideally, data engineering is little more than big data because we talk about data warehousing, data modeling, things like that. But when we talk about big data, it's specifically the big data tools. However, I see that when people ask data engineering, you can, I mean, whatever you are learning would fit both the roles, big data and data engineering. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, Sushma has asked a question she's from 5th November batch. Which is the most important section in resume to get shortlisted? That's a very tricky question to answer. I would say make sure your resume is keyword friendly. That means have the keyword big data developer, because it's not that they will go through all the resumes and all. They would do some automation where they search for keywords, whether you have mentioned Apache Spark or not, big data developer or not, right? Things like that. Also, the best thing is if you have a 3 months notice period, do not mention 3 months, mention it 2 months, right? Because if you mention 3 months, it will not get shortlisted. Even though when you have 3 months notice period, somehow you mention 2 months and then it can be tackled later. I hope this gives some idea. Now, a question from Ishwar, who is from 7 Jan batch. Will Azure data engineering concepts dominate big data tech stack? Right? How difficult is it to upgrade to Azure data engineering concepts after working in big data domain? See, again, I would say learning cloud is an easy part. There is no replacement of whatever you are learning today in my course. Because if I have even, let's say, sometimes people say, sir, MapReduce is less used today. Okay. Let me ask you, is the concept of combiner going away? Is the concept of partitioner going away? Right? Is the concept of reducer and mapper going away? No. Even when you talk Spark, Spark also has these things and the wordings are changed. Right? So again, I'm teaching the fundamentals so that let the technology stack be evolving. It should not take time for you to grab anything new. Right? For example, in Azure, again, let's talk about Databricks. Right? If you know Spark, learning Databricks is a cakewalk. Right? So what I'm trying to say, learning cloud is easy because things are hidden from you. Things are getting easier. You are working on open source things right now, which will give you a lot of understanding on how systems have been developed. And this will make sure whatever new technologies come tomorrow, you can easily grab. So I think this would answer. Learning anything after this should be really not difficult because you have the solid base. Right? And now a question from Priyanka from 7 Jan batch. How to update the LinkedIn profile being a non-big data engineer? Do we need to update the resume or both resume and LinkedIn needs to be updated? See, Priyanka, what I would say, even if there are a lot of people who do not have LinkedIn, that is also fine. But it is good to have LinkedIn so that tomorrow, apart from Naukri.com, through LinkedIn also you can get some interview calls. And the best way to start updating it is you can say you are a big data enthusiast. You are learning and you keep adding new technologies, what you are learning. You keep posting relevant content, right? Let's say you learned what is, let's say you learned about external tables and managed tables in Hive, right? You can post that same concept and people will start connecting with you. It's like you being a part of big data community. It's as easy as that. You do not have to think too much around that. Okay. Now, a question from Priyanka, who is from which batch? She mentioned Big Data Masters batch. Okay. I am from a non-coding background with 5 years of experience in manual testing for healthcare domain. Will I be able to clear the interview and transition to big data career? Absolutely. Why not, Priyanka? Definitely you will be able to do. See, even if you do not know something today, you can learn, right? And if you do not know any programming, I would say you start learning or you start going through a playlist, YouTube playlist on Python. And you can start going through my SQL playlist on YouTube. I have a very good playlist on YouTube for SQL where around 20 videos are there. SQL you can check from there. Python you learn from any other playlist which has around 15 hours of content. And after that, you should be able to grab things very, very easily. Even if you do not know Python, you will be able to grab my course, but you should be aware of one programming in the end, and that to a decent level, if not too much. And a lot of people from testing background have switched to big data and are doing well. So you really do not have to worry. You need to just focus on it. A question from Asha. Could you please discuss about a career in data architecture? I am a junior data engineer, only 6 months old. How do I groom myself to become a data architect? Where are the skills required? What are the skills required? And what timeline should I set to become one? See, you are very early in your career, Asha, I would say, right? Generally, you can think in that direction after 4 or 5 years, because by that time you will have a good hands-on in the industry, right? And it's good that you are having that approach of an architect and all, but just to let you know, since you have asked, architect is required to know a lot of things, even though they do not have to go in a lot of depth, right? It's like the bigger picture. So that, let's say, they should be knowing about little bit about Google Cloud also. They should be knowing little bit about AWS, little bit about Azure at a very high level, so that tomorrow when a talk is going in company, or when people are saying what to choose, they have idea around it, right? They can decide, okay, probably we can go ahead with this because this costs less and all. So as an architect, a bigger horizon you have to cover, and might be you go in deep in one cloud, but you should know about other 2 clouds also. Kind of think it this way. Like this is just one example you have got. Okay, I hope this answers. Now a question from Mukul from 4th Fab batch. I am having 2.5 years experience I am a 2.5 years experience professional in SAP HANA, and I want to shift to big data. Other than this course, what are the steps I take to make my profile look attractive? And in my resume, should I lie and mention that I have experience in big data after completing this course? Okay, that's an interesting question. I would say, apart from my course, you only need to focus on 2 things. Number 1 is SQL, which you do not have to buy any course. I have a free SQL playlist on YouTube, which is good enough, right? Free SQL playlist, you go through that. Number 2, you can start seeing, if you're not from a programming background, right? Then you start seeing one programming language. Scala I have covered, but if you want to learn little bit Python and you see it from YouTube, that will add some value, I would say, but not a must, right? If you know one programming, let's say Scala, that's good enough. But just to get an extra edge, if you know little bit Python, that can be helpful. But SQL is super important, where my SQL playlist will help you. Now, talking about after doing this course, should I say that I have some experience in big data? Definitely, you would have to do that, right? Now, I would tell this is how the IT industry works generally. That if you have, let's say, 5 years of total experience in Java, let's consider you have 5 years in Java. Now, if you do my course, it's fine, you do my course. But now if you say that you are not into big data, you just did a course only, then people will be hesitant to interview you. They will feel that you do not have real-time exposure. They will feel that you have not really worked on it, right? How IT industry works is, once you learn from me, you actually are as good as around 3 years experience in big data or 2.5 years experience in big data, just to let you know, right? Because this is not a crash course which anyone can do easily. No, it takes really hard efforts to complete this course, right? And after the 6 months, you will be as good as a 2.5 to 3 years experienced candidate in big data, because that's how rigorous the course is. Now, what you have to understand is, if you are a fresher, like 2022 pass out or 2023 pass out, you can tell that you are a fresher and you did a course, and that works. Now, if you are someone with, let's say, 1 year of experience in testing or in Java or in ETL database, you have to showcase that for last 1 year, I am working on big data. Now, if you have, let's say, 2 years of experience, then you have to showcase 2 years in big data. If you have, let's say, 4 years total experience, then you showcase last 3 years in big data. That's the norm which people do. And unfortunately, we have to do that, because even if you are as good as the experienced folks, people do not value you until you say that you are experienced. Right? Very few companies will kind of entertain you if you actually. I see some people are just pasting the same question again and again in chat. I mean, it might not be possible for me to check the chat right now, because I am checking the Excel sheet which I got as your questions, right? So I would request not to put things over chat, because anyways, I might not be able to see as of now. So I hope this answers your question, Mukul. Mukul, you can showcase that you have started your career in big data, and you will be able to justify that. Okay. How do I contact for a question from Shweta, who is from October 15th batch? I haven't completed week 5 yet. One question is, how do I contact for projects and help regarding the course completion and job related query? I want to understand the process. So Shweta, it's as simple as that. Once you do the week 14 or complete the week 14, our team, placement team themselves will contact you, and you will be eligible for placements. And once you complete week 10, you will, start getting the videos where we have the projects and all, right? So right now, I think it's quite early. As you have mentioned, week 5, I'm not sure whether it's a typo or what, but if you are in week 5, definitely you would not get those material. Okay. Mandeep has asked, okay, from 4th Feb batch, sir, how to answer the question, some challenge you encountered in your project? Very good question, Mandeep. I think then you might be really working on big data, because if you are so new in the big data batch, last batch only you joined, you might be in week 3, I believe, and you are talking about this question, then I feel you would have some real exposure. That's good. So always you can say that the challenges that we face is to understand what data we need to crunch, right? We need to talk to stakeholders and talk about the data. And in terms of technicality, you can say that always that we were getting out of memory error, even though the cluster size was good enough, we were giving enough resources, right? Then we saw that why exactly that's happening. You can give example of partition skew or something. Those kind of challenges you can talk about. There can be a lot of challenges like this. I hope this would have given some direction to you on what lines to talk about. But since this is technical, I would avoid to talk in this session, because most of the people would be new in this. Right? Jarish has a question from 4th Feb batch. Hi Sumit sir, currently I have 2 years of experience as a data analyst, and my CTC is 4 LPA. While negotiating for salary, what CTC we ask the HR, right? After we do technical interview, very well. Suggest some tips regarding this, as I'm transitioning from one domain to another. See, Jarish, what I would say is the norm in big data industry is, if you have total, let's say 3 years of experience, I'm not talking about big data experience, I'm talking about total experience, then you would expect 3 to 6x of total years of experience. Now, if you are saying you have 2 years of experience, your salary should have been ideal range for your salary in big data would be 6 lakhs to 12 lakhs, right? 6 lakhs to 12 lakhs, 3 to 6 times of the years of experience. Now, since you are right now having 4 lakhs, you can definitely think of a switch where you ask 8 lakhs in the first switch, right? Because directly you cannot ask 12 lakhs because you are right now on a lower band, right? And once you get 8 lakhs, then probably you can negotiate with other companies. And if they ask you, why are you asking 100% hike? You can say that I feel I am already working and getting a salary below the market standards. And I feel I should be getting at least 8 LPA because I feel I have those skill sets and I really want to stick with your company. That's how you can talk about it. Now, Sheikh Shaheen Fatima is asking, step-by-step guidance to become data scientist. Will big data help us to become data scientists? What are the opportunities in big data? Very good question. I will not be able to give you all steps of a data scientist, but I know that big data is very important for data scientists. Now, when you are learning big data, you can work as a data engineer or a big data developer or a big data architect, or you can again go for a further profile and learn machine learning and all, so that you are a rock solid data scientist. I have seen a lot of senior data scientists who have come and who have basically learned big data just to be better aware of their current profiles. Now, even a good data scientist is expected to know big data because they see there are two layers at it. You think it this way: the first top layer is the bottom layer is data engineering layer, where you clean the data and bring the data in a way that your data scientist can work over it. Right now, 80% of the work happen in this data engineering layer, and 20% happen in the machine learning or data science layer, whatever you say. Right. So a data scientist can be a good data scientist when they know the underlying layer also, that what's happening at a high level. So if you are targeting a data scientist role also, then learning big data is like a must. Right? Okay. Now talking about so by the way, I think for some of the batches who are in their 5th, 6th and the other weeks, right? For people who have joined after August, I think the data structure content has been released. For the newer batches, it's not, but for the other batches, I think it's released from August onwards, right? Raghav, I see you posting the question and again, even after me telling. Anyways, let me cover that because it's like so many times you have posted in the chat. That's okay. I have completed 14 weeks of your course. Now I am giving interviews on Wednesday. I have an interview at Visa. Any tips if you can give me regarding data structure or data engineering? Data structure or data engineering, both are different terms actually. Data structures is different, Raga. Data engineering is different, right? I see a lot of Glassdoor comment that Visa asks DS questions. Can you give me some sample questions, as many of your students have already cracked Visa interview, right? So, Raghav, you can fill the IRF form mentioning that you require questions for Visa if it is there. And if we have these questions in our database, the team will send you. I will ask them to do. And definitely there will be a few questions with us around Visa. We will send it to you over the mail. Okay. Anyways, let me again continue. Tom Thomas is asking, I am having 2 years of experience in Teradata. I am worried about how can I convert those 2 years into big data project. Is it fine if I show our course project in 2 years? See, now you have to understand one thing. The course project that we are doing, right? the course project that we are doing is like on banking domain. Now, if let's say you are on retail or if you are on healthcare, how can you show exactly the same project? So think that the project that we are giving is an end-to-end pipeline, and you need to rebuild that same pipeline based on whatever data sets you can think are related to your domain, right? And how you will get an idea about that? Because we will give you a lot of sample resumes which will be from your domains also: insurance, healthcare, retail, banking. You see what kind of project these people have showcased, because you know your domain better, right? I can help you technically in terms of the end-to-end pipeline, but now it's on you that how you try to convert it based on the domain you work, right? And definitely you can show around 2 projects, and that should be good enough. You do not worry, 2 years experience is not that much, and the expectation of interviewer also will be not that much. I hope this would have answered it. Okay. Now let me try covering 1 or 2 more from here. I am having 2.5 years of experience in Azure data engineering, but since 1 year I am not working on data engineering side. I am on. Okay, let me just take. Aditya Jain has a question. I am having 2.5 years of experience in Azure data engineering, but currently since 1 year I am not working on data engineering side. I am on week 5 of the course. So should I start giving interviews or wait till week 14? I would highly recommend that start giving interviews after week 14, because from week 8 to week 14 is Apache Spark, and which is super important. Without Spark, you cannot crack the interviews, right? So a note to all of you that you can only start giving interviews after week 14, because without knowing Spark, giving interviews, I don't think is justified. I hope this should be clear, right? Now, let me take another question. So who is asking this? Sheetal. Sheetal has a question. I recently changed my job 6 months ago with 2 years experience. Can I get good offers switching in just 6 months on basis of big data course? Previous domain was SQL developer. Definitely yes, Sheetal, you can still change, right? You can still change your company. Now they would definitely ask that why you are changing the company so quickly. Then you can say that I see that there is not much of work in my project. I want to work on challenging projects. So you showcase it this way that people feel you are enthusiastic to work, but you are not getting relevant, right? So showcase it that way, and definitely you can make a switch. That's not a problem. Early in your career, the more the switches you make, the better salary packages you start getting from day one, actually. Okay. A lot of queries around. Okay, so I will take one query. Sudeep Ghosh. I have 15 plus years of experience, mainly into functional QA and then in BA profile for a couple of years. I am enrolled in this course. Kindly guide me in what direction my effort should be and what role industry should I be preparing myself for. I would say, Sudeep, that since you have 15 plus years of experience, you might be targeting either a senior developer in big data or a big data architect, right? So I would say you do or go through my course thoroughly, right? Apart from that, SQL, data structures, whatever I will be releasing, and apart from that, one programming, that's fine. If you have to add more to it, I would say you explore a little bit on other clouds, right? Might be just once you know about AWS from my course, you just think about Azure, you think about GCP. GCP BigQuery is gaining momentum. So, I mean, you get a holistic picture more towards cloud, right? That will be really helping you apart from the course. And it should not be that you deep dive into all. One can never do that. You have to be strong in one cloud and an overview about other clouds. I hope that answers. Now a question from Ragesh, right? Hi sir, I am having more than 16 years of total experience and all is on Oracle development in DBA. After the course, what role should I apply for, like lead big data or some architect role? Yes, absolutely. Those will be the roles. And what extra I need to learn outside of the curriculum? So I think this query is also answered, because it's like, do the course, that's good enough. Apart from that, if you really have to do something else, I would say a bigger picture of all the clouds. And it should not be taking more time, might be 2 weeks you have to spend. You need not buy any course or something for that. You explore about on your own, that if this service in AWS is this, like for example, you have Athena in your AWS, you have Redshift in your AWS, then what are the equivalent things in Azure? What are the equivalent things in GCP? That is something which you are expected to know. I hope this helps. Right? A question from Naman. As I am below 2 years of experience, if I get a chance for interviews in product-based company, how much DSA would I expect? Would they expect? And what about system design as well? Do I need to prepare for that as well? See, system designer, given a one-line problem statement and you try to design a solution architecture, you will be doing it in the projects which are there, right? So kind of this is covered. In terms of DSA, again, for the people joining after August batch, we are releasing DSA, provided they are from Big Data Masters program, not for Azure, right? Azure is a separate course which we have. So Big Data Masters program people are getting access to DSA from August batch onwards. Until now, I have released around 8 hours of content on arrays, right? So arrays, linked list, binary search trees, and to some level DP, dynamic programming, is required, right? So I'll be releasing some content for the batches who just recently joined, 4th Feb batch and 18th Feb batch. I'm yet to release DSA because I do not want to confuse you so initially, right? Once you are in your week 5 and 6, then I will be releasing you DSA. I hope that answers it. Oh, okay. So that's like a continuous speaking. Let me see what chats are coming in. Swarnika is asking a question. I am working in TCS and already having 10 plus years of experience and serving my notice period, but they are trying to retain me. So shall I retain or concentrate on course? Please help, sir. And I am having 5 plus years experience in big data, but not in Spark Scala. So I would say, Swarnika, if you already have another offer, a better offer, then no need to get retained. But if you are just quitting your job, right, then I don't think it makes sense to quit the job without having offer. Right? I'm not sure what's the exact context. If you can give me that context, I could have better answered it. So Lochani Akarte is asking, 2021 pass out batch can consider fresher or not? I am not working anywhere. I have no experience. What you will suggest? 2021 still can be considered as a fresher. You can showcase that there was some medical situation that you could not join a company, right? You can showcase some genuine reason why you have not joined. You do not have to showcase that you didn't get a job. No, right? Rather, you showcase the reason why you are not working till now. You have to showcase a valid reason. Now, Jyoti is asking some ideas on how to address career gaps for more than 3 years. See, if you have more than first you try all honest approaches, I would say, if you have a career gap, right? Because there are a lot of people who have drives for career gap. I know Deloitte and many other such finance-based companies do have openings for career gap people, right? You can showcase a reason why you took a career gap and what upskilling you have done during those years. You have to showcase that way. But if that does not work, then you know the other approach which people end up doing, right? That people get some experience letters and all. I do not know how to get it done, but again, that's the last route which people take, which is not advisable. But try to go openly, showcase your skills, and show that during the gap also you were upskilling yourself, you were in touch with the technology. Right? Okay. Lot of questions. So some Chandan is asking, sir, if people are transitioning from product support role with basic knowledge of SQL to data engineering, how difficult it would be for us to go through this course, and can we justify this? See, this course, how difficult to go through this course? It's easy. Course, I can make sure you will understand all the things. That's my guarantee. Now, after that, how to justify your experience? Definitely, that is something which has to be looked into and has to be worked upon, right? Now, if you, as I said, if you have more than 3 years of experience, showcase 3 years and show 2 projects, last 2 projects, right? And again, people say, sir, can I directly show the project which you are covering? Directly, if you everyone show that, then it won't look good, right? You take the technical part from it and showcase it in your pipeline based on the data sets you deal in your company. You might get an idea, or you might have better idea about what data sets you can showcase, right? Khalida is saying, Khalid is saying, I am 1.5 years of experience in TCS and I did not work in any project because I am on bench. After completing the week 14, can I apply for other companies? What to mention about experience in which domain? You can mention that you are working for TCS and you are working on big data projects. You can mention some client name, whatever your team is working on, right? You might be aware that your friends and all, which client they are working for, you can mention that. Definitely, you cannot say that you are on bench, right? Now, Padma is saying, I am having a knowledge on Java, but I don't have an idea on Python. If Python is helpful to this course, can I start to learn Python because now I am in week 9? I would say Python is not a prerequisite to learn my course. But Python as a general language is picking momentum, right? So I'm saying it's good to know Python, right, for your future career, I would say, not for this course as such. Because even if you are from programming background and if you know C language, you will be able to grab my course because I am explaining each and every line of whether I am showing Java or Scala, I am showing that. But I am saying for a future career, Python seems to be gaining momentum. Better to learn Python. No need to join any course. A 10-15 hours of Python playlist on YouTube should help. Right? I hope this is clear. Okay. Gautam is saying, please pick my question if possible. Would showing real big data projects in GitHub repository and mentioning in resume, then the recruiters or hiring managers would surely notice real-time experience and will shortlist one more often. What's your suggestion? See, generally, if you are working in your company and then you will not be having that on public GitHub, right? It would be hidden. It's not open to all. So GitHub is for your learning projects. Learning projects generally are not considered that way. You need to showcase that you have worked in your company. GitHub is good, but it's not that mandatory to do. And I would say right? Company related projects, people are more interested rather than your practice projects. Right now, if you work on COVID data set, if you work on Kaggle data set and put it on GitHub, does not, I mean, it's okay, but it's not, it does not add value, I feel so. Now, let me pick one question. Shubham is saying, sir, pick my question, but I cannot see his question at all. Shubham, you can just put it again. Now, Deepika is saying, I have total 6 years of experience. Currently, I don't work in big data engineering. And in my project, there is a big data engineering team. I know SQL and basic SQL and Hive. Can you please suggest whether I need to switch my job to another company or get into data engineering team to get real time handling? So Deepika, it's your choice. Ideally, within your company, it's very easy to get into, but you will not get any hike, right? But when you are learning so much from the course, and if you really grab so much, whatever we are doing hard work for 6 months, then you can even think to switch outside because you will be prepared for that. That will give you a decent hike too, right? So it's your choice. If you want to be little bit comfortable and want to work on within your company easily, then fine. But otherwise, if you are little bit more enthusiastic for a better pay package and all, definitely you can think for external switch, right? That should be helping out, I believe. Let me pick another 1 or 2 questions. The problem with this chat is that it keeps floating. I read one question and it goes up, right? That's very difficult to pick. Venkatesh is asking, I have total 7 years of work experience and working as a Azure data engineer role. Will this course help me for my future? Absolutely, Venkatesh, because see, clouds and all are wrappers. It's not that you are talking about, see, if you're learning data factory, what you are doing drag and drop, and you do not know how internally things work. But what we are learning is how internally things work. It makes a lot of sense that you start questioning yourself that, okay, when I'm using AWS or Azure, what's happening underneath, right? Because technologies will come and go. You are learning fundamentals of distributed storage and computing, which will never go away, right? So Siddharth is asking, sir, how to increase the chances of getting placed after completing this course? I don't have any idea on data engineering background nor coding background. 3 years experience as WFM analyst. See, again, you cannot give an excuse that you are not from a coding background. You have to do a lot of hands-on, you have to learn, right? You have to practice more and more, right? Because if you can learn big data, you can learn coding also. I would say there are 2 things, SQL and coding. Now, SQL is more important than coding, but coding also you cannot avoid, right? So definitely to some extent, big data developers need coding, if not to a very highest extent, but to a medium level, right? And if you do not know any coding, Python is a good language to start with, easiest among all. Okay. Shubham is saying, sir, I am on a career gap since last 6 months. Will be finishing course in next 3 months. 2.5 years of experience. Sir, placement will placement support be provided by Trenditech? Absolutely yes. And just to let you know, right now our focus is a lot on the getting more companies into the placement cell. Already we have got nearby 30 new companies recently, right? And I would keep needing your support. I will be posting on LinkedIn again and again. And if you people repost, like and all, then definitely that reaches to more and more people, right? I mean, just since we are at that level, let me, since all of you are here, let me quickly post it on LinkedIn regarding this. Like if any recruiters and all are asking, you can like it. I mean, just give me a moment. It's a very good thing. And that can bring us or give us a very, very good reach in terms of recruitment. Just give me a second. And it's like for you people, I'm doing this, right? It's not that I want companies for myself. It's for you people. The more the recruitment companies, the easier it gets. Ideally, from Naukri and all, it gets quite easy. But again, I want to have more and more companies who hire from Trendy Tech. Already there have been a lot, but we are increasing it day by day. So I'm just posting a post on LinkedIn. You people can repost, like, and comment on that, and that should increase the reach. Just give me a second. I'm doing that. Okay, please DM. Okay, let me send you a link to this. I have posted it just now. I need support from you all. You people open the post, like it, repost it. There is an option that you say repost, right? Repost. After that, you have an option to repost and say reach plus plus, or yeah, I mean, we are learning a lot, or things like that, right? This will enhance the reach of this. I'm not sure if you people have received that. I hope you people have got it. Already we have 57 likes to it. Amazing, right? Request all of you to support here, because this is for you. And if we get more 50 companies, your chances of getting placed through our placement cell even becomes higher, right? Right now, also the calls are so many that you really do not have to get worried through Naukri.com or through our placement cell, but we are increasing it day by day. Request to all of you that you should support here by a single like, comment, and repost. Repost help a lot, by the way. Repost help a lot. Please repost, right? Like, comment is fine, but repost holds the highest value among all. Still, some people have not done. I mean, this is for you. You have to understand. I can see 127 likes and 26 reposts. And right now, we are so many people over this call. I have no benefit with this, just to let you know. It's for you. Okay. Anyways, one last question I will take for today. Pawan, I'm having 18 years of experience. What all areas I should concentrate more to get higher roles in industry? As most of the students here actually looking for data engineering roles. See, Pawan, I would say you will look for a data engineering architect role, right? And I said, based on the current trend, you should have a bigger picture idea about all the clouds, right? Very important. And that should be more than sufficient, I believe. Now, Deepika is asking, please answer this question. She's saying, knowing basic Python via W3 school, but I don't have hands-on related to writing Python script for data engineering. I'm not having confidence in Python. Do I increase my confidence in Python and PySpark? See, Deepika, I'm not sure in which week you are, but by the 14th week, you will have good hands-on, right? Throughout the course, we are coding. So if you are in initial weeks, might be you are getting worried. But the moment you complete week 14, we are doing so much of hands-on, it should really not be a problem. Okay, then I think for now we can wind it up, and I will never be able to cover all the questions. But what I will try my best is, I will go through the chat, whatever you people have shared and the list, whatever I feel is super critical to be attended, right? I will create a list and probably have another session for that sometime, right? So there are a lot of hundreds of floating questions. Will not never be able to answer all of them. I tried my best to cover whatever I could, right? Now, if you have a really important question which you feel is not answered and you want this to be answered probably next week, you fill the IRF saying that I would wish that this question can also be answered next time, right? Fill the integrated request form. You say that Sumit sir has asked to fill, and here is my question. I wish this could be answered next time. I will prioritize those questions overall, right? So with this, let's end it up. I hope this would have helped you a lot. I tried my best to convey the things in best possible way. In more, I mean, I would not hide anything. I would tell it openly the way it works in industry, whether things are right or wrong, right? But this should be coming to you directly in a raw form, right? So with this, let's end it up. Wish you all the best for the ones who started the new batch today, and happy weekend to all of you. Sorry if I could not take your question today. If not today, I will definitely answer it next time, right? And if you feel your question is something apart from what I have answered today, you fill a IRF saying, please answer my query next time, and I'll make sure I will take some 15, 20, 30 questions from there and I would answer those. And yeah, happy Shivratri to all of you. Thank you all. Thank you. Have a nice evening.